I'm sure this is going to be our best episode yet.
It'll be the best episode yet.
It's like the podcast version of the movie Hackers, but far less realistic. You're listening to FounderQuest.
So I've got to say, like this is kind of a brag. It's completely off topic, but I've got to tell somebody I'm very proud of myself. You know how in any, I don't know, whenever you watch movies or TV about like prison or whatever, or, you know, weird situations, it's like there's always like somebody who is like a genius at making like booze. Right? They figure out like,
oh yeah, like the trash bag or whatever.
Yeah, you take whatever's in your environment and you somehow make like booze out of it. Well, I think I'm kind of like that with ice cream. I think I'm that person. Some
garbage bag ice cream.
No, not garbage bag ice cream. But I was just like, yesterday I was like, I really want ice cream, but I don't have any cream.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're
yeah. So I was like, okay, I need my fat source. I need my source of like milk solids. I need, you know, sugar source.
Yeah.
And
you're going like all chemist on it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. It does harken back to the chemistry stuff. But actually it turns out if you take a can of sweetened condensed milk and a package of Philadelphia cream cheese and you add a little bit of milk to dilute them and then blend them in a blender and then put them in an ice cream maker. It makes pretty serviceable ice cream. It's a little bit sweet for my taste, but you know, it worked out.
Good to know. Sounds
surprisingly
like some sort of new form of like gelato or something.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
you got to come up with a name for that.
Yeah.
Like your own name.
I don't know.
We don't have to do it on the air. I'm not.
No, I'm not going to give that away. I'm not going to give that away. You got to pay for that. So on Monday we had our all hands meeting, and except Ben wasn't here because he was taking some sort of time off, which is just amazing.
Can we say why, Ben? Are you comfortable?
I suppose
it's because Monday was Ben's birthday. Happy birthday, Ben!
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure he hates this, so. I'm sorry, this is not your birthday present.
That's all right. We won't sing.
There was no ice cream involved, but there was cream cheese. My birthday dessert was cream cheese sopapilla. So tasty.
Ooh,
nice.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Sounds good.
I'm really curious what that's like. But anyway, the thing that you missed our all hands meeting. We were all it was lonely without you, but we made do. And we had an interesting conversation, I thought, about just the way in which we work, right? We're all working on computers all day. We all feel kind of rushed. We're doing this stuff. It sort of like leads to this sort of mounting pressure and sort of tension. And I really enjoyed having a conversation with everybody about that. And just like, you know, I learned that some people are into yoga in our office. You know, I'm a little bit into yoga. I'm like a baby yoga person, a baby yogi. We talked about balance boards and like how Josh is like, I don't know. It just seems like Back to the Future to me. Like you're on a hoverboard all day, just sort of.
It does kind of feel like a hoverboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm not on it right now, just because.
Well, unfortunately,
I know I'm gonna event there. If I always use it during the podcast, I know that at some point I'll probably like wipe out. And
that's why I was saying you should do it. We should capture that. Yeah, I discussed a little bit about how like I found that just like trying to do things quickly is kind of stressful. And so just sort of like things that are, you know, like email checking that doesn't require a bunch of like, it's not too thoughtful. And I tend to just kind of be like, delete, you know, just go through it as quick as possible. I've been trying to sort of like purposely slow that down just a little bit. And we're talking about like it adds an extra 5 minutes, you know, so not really that much longer, and that's helpful. And like, I'm not saying I want to do the whole podcast about this. I just wanted to mention that because like, I just really enjoyed talking with everybody about that stuff. Like, I think that's it makes me happy that we're doing these kind of like bi-weekly check-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good chat. Yeah, that reminded me, I had to turn off my bell of mindfulness. I realized it was probably going to chime.
Oh, you did. So you got one too.
I downloaded the app to check it out and turn the thing on, you know, so every 15 minutes or whatever it dings.
Oh yeah, I forgot I told you all about that.
Yeah, I kind of like it actually. It's yeah, I mean, you say what it is, but yeah, it's kind of cool. It does kind of bring you out of the moment and then let you refocus.
Yeah, so it's just a really simple app. It's a Plum Village app, which is it's released by this monastery in France. It's a Buddhist monastery, and as part of it, I mean, because it's all free and stuff, but as part of it, they have this bell basically it's this sort of meditation bell that's really long and really sort of like you have an option of a couple of them.
Yeah.
And it just rings every 15 minutes. So you just remember to be like, oh yeah, like I exist in the world. I'm not just, eyes looking and fingers typing.
Yeah, it came about in the discussion on Monday, I think, because we got talking about just like when you're like in deep focus at work, especially like on a computer. I think Star, you mentioned you've experienced this, and I have too, to some extent. Like you can kind of get like really absorbed to the point where you're almost like in some kind of, I don't know. It can be a little stressful like after a while, because at least for me, like I find myself like my breathing tends to get more shallow, and I'm just like, I like stop blinking. So having something to like kind of break you out of that and remind you like, oh, you shouldn't work for like, you shouldn't spend like 2 hours in that state. And like Pomodoro technique, for instance, is like something people created to, create some sort of like more focused schedule where you still remember to like take breaks and let your mind wander and stuff. So to me, this seems it kind of fulfills a little bit of that. Like it's not as structured, but it's just a thing that like reminds you, like prompts you basically to stop and think for a minute before, continuing in your work or whatever.
Yeah, it's really kind of cute because my little daughter is like, she obviously has noticed there's a bell going off. And so I told her what it was. It's like you take a breath, and so like she'll hear it, and then she'll just be like, ah, yeah, and then just go back to whatever she was doing. But it's so cute because it's like, so it's kind of just like, I'm just going to take this breath, then I'm going to get back to what I'm doing. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit beside the point, but it's like she's learning. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. It reminds me of, there's this thing called a motivator. It's MOTIVAIDER, and we can link it up. It's like a little timer device that's used by behavioral specialists and like psychologists and stuff, I guess, basically in like helping to reinforce habits. And but I think it could probably like be like serve a similar purpose, where basically like it's basically just a device to prompt you to remember to do something on a regular basis or a semi-random basis. I think it has a couple different settings, but it's the same idea. Like basically, if it's something that your like mind doesn't consciously remember to do, on the pattern, like the cycle that you want it to happen, like a habit, for instance, it helps to like establish that and remind you.
I just now looked up motivator, like motivator on Google.
Doesn't it look super old school? It goes really well with my pager.
Well, yeah, but there's also apparently a quick charge, like automotive battery charger named the Motivator, and I thought that was it. And I was just like, this is intense. It's got these like giant wires coming out of it.
It just really helps you recharge, Star.
Yeah, it's
yeah. It zaps you. It zaps you out of the moment.
It's like I'm imagining like a Clockwork Orange scene. You're like
with your eye. You're like your eyes
just, like,
pried open.
Shocks you violently every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that would be the wrong way to practice something like the piano, for instance, we were talking about. Like I know like piano teachers back in the day, like my mom's piano teacher, for instance, she would always tell me like, because when I was learning to play the piano, and you have to learn like how, remember to keep your hands in the proper position. And the old school teachers would use like a sharpened pencil tip under your palm to basically like, so it's like, you have a real incentive to, keep your, was it an orange? Well, you were lucky. I guess I was too. I didn't get the pencil either.
I'm wondering who ate those like grubby oranges after kids have been like putting their hands all over them.
I don't know. But what I guess the point is that something like the Motivator or, something like it is the more humane way to remember to use proper posture at the piano.
Yeah, definitely. And also just like naming your, like using a clever pun spelling for your product name makes it really kind of ungoogleable.
Or a meme.
That's what I said. Yeah, or a meme. Totally. Oh my God, that was the big self-care, wasn't it?
Yeah, like we're one to talk.
A very unique. You have to use a very unique product name.
Hi, I'm Randall, and I'm the founder of Honey Badger.
No. No, we never saw that. We saw that after we created the company. We only saw that after.
So along the lines of things helping you remember to do things, I use an app on the Mac called Anti-RSI. And what it does, it has a configurable timer that reminds you to take a work break. So I think I have mine set up every hour or so. And then you can configure how long the break is. So I think mine is 3 minutes. And so it just pops up this overlay that says, hey, go take a break. And then it does a countdown timer that you define. And
it's cool.
So I use that to remind myself to go up, walk around, get a glass of water, that sort of thing.
So that sounds a little bit like a Pomodoro timer, but just with less like fewer rules. It's just one work session, right? Like you work for a set amount of time and then take a break, come back.
Yep.
That's cool. It's funny, like all these things we just mentioned basically do exactly the same thing, which basically just like prompts you to remember to do something
right
on a timer. There must be something there.
You know, one non-app, non-device technique that you can use for that though is just drink a lot of water, right? And then periodically you're going to have to get up to go to the bathroom.
Right. It does. That does work. Yeah.
I feel called out here. when we do conclaves, I always have to go to the bathroom twice as much as everybody else.
So
but, you know,
it's nature's motivator.
Nature's motivator. There you go. That's like the kids who drink a lot of water on Christmas Eve, so they'll like wake up extra early and bug their parents on Christmas Day.
Yeah. I wonder what I mean, it seems like you could put any kind of, there's like any number of applications for these type of devices. So like if yours, Ben, is anti-RSI, which is completely, I'm like, I'd buy that, I'd buy that along with my Pomodoro and my motivator. And cause they all do the same thing, but it's this, I mean, I have RSI. So like, obviously I don't want to make my RSI worse. So I wonder, like, maybe that's a opportunity. Like, you just find a problem that is that can be helped by regularly, like, habitual activity, and then label it with the thing that it's fixing, like specific thing that it's fixing, and then just put an app in the App Store.
Today on FounderQuest, timers.
So we can build like an anti-hunger app and it just reminds you to go eat.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
It's like,
there you go. Speaking of timers, by the way, like, this is a complete tangent. I'm just going to gripe. I'm going to put this out into the universe. Maybe somebody will like inform me, but like, I just want a microwave that just has a just mechanical timer on it with minutes. That's all I want. Maybe another setting where it's like a mechanical, like a potentiometer with like power setting. That's all I want. I'm tired of digital, of like
a mechanical dial, like one of those old school kitchen timers would be kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have one like a long time ago when microwaves were kind of new and before everything was digital, and it was really awesome. Or I mean, my parents had one. I'm not really old enough to like have had that myself. Anyway, that's just my little gripe.
Maybe you can find one and refurbish it and bring it back to life.
There we go. That's how I want to spend my time.
I'm a star, and I'm really into restoring old microwaves.
Yeah, it's like pimp my microwave. It's like, this here's 83 Victoria Lux.
I mean, you could have a thriving YouTube channel, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things that like people will get specific about, and it's just their thing now, and like the people they'll find to watch it. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
And especially since there's always a risk of death because it's really high voltage.
But if you have a digital microwave, you don't need the mindfulness app because you can just set your timer on your microwave for 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's
terrible
true.
for the planet. Terrible for the planet. I mean, we're supposed to hack the planet, not destroy it, Ben.
Then every developer can have a microwave on their desk for, set it for an hour timer, remind them to get up and go walk around.
Oh, God, I've worked at offices where that seemed like that was actually the case.
I was going to say only if there's like stale popcorn in it.
Yeah, we have actually on one of our podcasts, we have this like backlog of podcast topics. It's getting pretty small. Like this is one reason we just kind of like have these kind of spur of the moment episodes a little bit more often because like
we don't really add to it frequently.
Yeah, nor do we really kind of take away from it. So
yeah,
except so yeah. The reason I was mentioning this is that one of the things on it was like what do you miss about working for the man? And I'm not quite sure this is like there's enough there to make an actual like episode about, but I guess if I missed anything, it would be like endless free like soda water. I've got to get my own soda water now. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Wait, did someone like bring you soda water?
Well, no, but there's a refrigerator. You go get it.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. But then like the microwave situation, like people make popcorn in there. They make they heat up leftovers, and like I have I have like sensory things, like I'm very sensitive to smells. And so it's just so annoying. I'm so glad I only have to like deal with my own smells. That's the best thing about working from home. It's like I only have to smell myself.
Yeah. And your loved ones.
And my loved ones. Yeah. The kids are pretty stinky.
Yeah, I never really worked for the man a whole lot. Like I've been self-employed for a really long time.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I missed from the last office scenario I was in was the unlimited snacks. Like I ate way too many cashews at the last office I was in because I love cashews.
You all realize that all of these problems you're mentioning are easily solved, like by, for instance, buying cashews or a soda maker, right? I'll go on Amazon and fix this for you right now, if you want me to.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, but it's different. But
then you have to like keep doing it.
No, I know it is. It's like you have it all. It's all, and it was done for you. Like you didn't have to think about it. It's all stocked. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first job out of college was at a startup, and this was back in the .com boom days. And there was a fridge in the in the office kitchen that was fully stocked, and it just blew my mind that I could just walk up to the kitchen, get a thing of ham and some cheese and some sandwich bread, and make a sandwich and take that back to. That was just really weird to me. Like, why are you feeding me whatever I want to eat? And then I, over time realized, oh, it's because then I'll never leave. And
you mean I have value? There's a reason you want me here.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, that's the secret. And I don't know, it's interesting kind of being on the side of like employing people. Like we don't really do any of the stuff because like we're not evil. I mean, evil is a bit of a harsh phrase, but like we just don't really do it. But I don't know, like it does make things occur to me a bit more. It's like, oh yeah, this is how you extract a little bit more value out of people. Like,
yeah, one thing, we don't have an office, right? So, so we can't provide snacks and meals and so on. But the whole thing about having those free snacks to me is not just that it's free, but also that like I don't have to do anything to have them to show up, right? All I have to do is walk over to the bin and fill up my handful of nuts and walk away.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think like there's probably something to be said for like the decisions that are reduced, like that you don't have to make in order to like have those benefits and stuff. I wonder if now that because I know like there are entire positions, maybe even departments, and like I don't know whatever they call it for like like corporate, like for hospitality for employees or whatever. Like there's a position of like whatever managing entertainment, food, snacks, like all the stuff that in a large modern office. If the switch to remote is like if if large companies start doing that, do you think that there will be departments that are in charge of, or maybe there are in charge of like employee happiness at home? Maybe, maybe you'll start getting boxes of stuff, like snack boxes delivered to your door or whatever, so you can have that experience, right?
Can Honey Badger like just provide me with a continuous stream of like soda delivery?
I think actually I've seen there are some I think there's some startup like services that do that, like snack subscription. We talked about that in the past, I think, a little bit, but I wonder if like companies buying those for their employees is a thing.
Yeah, I know my partner she works at a really large company, and they are, they definitely are, they kicked up the sort of, working from home
remote
budget
perks
to spend on your workspace and everything. So I know they're thinking about it.
Well, on this topic, if you want to provide some snacks to your employees remotely, of course, you can just order some stuff and ship them. And you should definitely check out greatnuts.com. They were featured recently in an article, I don't know, it's Forbes or something. And they had the story about how they were the main supplier for American Airlines. And then American Airlines called them up one day and said, you know what, we're not going to have any more nuts. Thanks very much. Have a great day. And
no more nuts.
And this company is like, well, we're sitting on a year's worth of inventory. So what are we going to do? And so they tried to ramp up their e-commerce arm pretty quickly. And I decided to buy a couple bags of nuts to support them. And it's great stuff. It's, if you put it in the microwave for a few seconds, it's like you're sitting in first class.
Right. But I can just like, he's got his little tray. He's like,
no, the thing is, Ben,
you're like going
sitting in.
He's like going to his kids and like, hey, here, take this tray, and I'm gonna go just bring this in a few minutes,
and bring me a hot towel.
The chair you're sitting in though looks too comfy for first class. You gotta get a less comfy chair. Gotta suck those legs in. I mean,
just sitting by the window.
Leg room's free.
So maybe we should subscribe to all Honey Badger employees to a delivery of Great Nuts on a regular basis. Maybe once a month, drop off.
That'd be a cool perk.
There you go. Yeah, I take some nuts, and you say they're really great. So
yeah,
I know these people are honest.
Yeah. I mean, will this put us at odds with the airline industry? Because like if they have success, like if they start to come back, after all of this, we'll be like, what, the price of nuts is going up. This is like,
think the price of nuts is a determining factor in the price of airline fares, like the price of gas is. Maybe they have nuts futures, to help stabilize the prices.
So that's an economic question for sure.
Have to research that.
Yeah.
So my theory of first class is that it's not the nuts that drive up the price. My theory of first class is that like you're actually paying. I mean, the seats are nicer and everything, but the few times I've been in first class, which even nowadays, like maybe if I were to travel, like I've had the opportunity to go first class and I've not done it because people at the front of the plane tend to die more in plane crashes, which is a little bit neurotic on my part. I know. So I always get like the rearmost exit seat, which is, it's kind of like, I know that's sort of, optimizing for a problem that probably won't come up. But like, I think the real thing that stood out to first class for me is just like the stewards were very nice. And so it's like, are you just paying to have people sort of like treat you kindly?
Just not be mean to you.
Yeah, you're paying to have people treat you like a decent human being.
You basically are, yes. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think that's a good analysis.
Well, I mean, that's what you pay for when you go to stay at the Four Seasons. It's not like the bed is really going to be all that different from a bed at any other hotel, but that service is
they just hire people who care and then train them properly. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. And I've been to like a couple really nice restaurants in the Seattle area, and they both have really good service. And the thing that sort of struck me at both of them is just like the waiters were just like extremely just kind and not rushed, and just like, we're just here for you. And Like, we're going to take care of you, so don't worry about anything. And it's like, that's just like, in both instances, I remember just kind of like breathing this sigh of relief. It's like, okay, I can relax now, because like I don't have to handle anything. I don't have to worry about anything.
And that's exactly what we've done with Honey Badger, right? We provide first class service at bottom rate prices.
Rock bottom prices. What does it do to our ROI? We don't care, because we're not MBAs.
This is
Speaking of MBAs, have you seen the Tiny MBA book?
Yeah, by Alex.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know about it. Tell me about it. Are you going to pop this one up too?
Is this going to be my thing? I'm showing the book again.
He's holding it up. It's yellow. It's got a 70s
I like
Tucker typeface on it.
Yeah, it's got a very cool like retro, like, I don't know, roller derby type font or something.
Yeah, it's very great. Very nice design. So it's a great little book. The subtitle is 100 Very Short Lessons About the Long Game of Business by Alex Hillman. I had a chance to read through it. It just took me, I don't know, a few minutes, because it is pretty short. But I love business books in general. But this one is great because it doesn't take forever to make the point. Like some business books, it's like, oh, you read chapter after chapter, and it's like, okay, I get it. Let's move on to the next thing.
I know. And there's a parable about people in the Middle Ages thrown in there,
right?
Where they're talking like in like ye olden talk type of talking. Sorry.
So this is great because it's short. It's these great little tidbits, vignettes, and so you can read through it in a sitting, but you can also like take this one thought, one of the 100 thoughts, and you can just chew on that for a day or for a week and just think about how it impacts your business or your approach to business. It's really good stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, do check it out.
I will check it out. I'm the only one who hasn't checked it out on here, so I got to check it out now.
You got the ebook copy, right, Ben?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Is it available on Amazon, or is it like you have to buy it through him thing? Or
it's available both, I think.
So there's a bit of a story behind the Amazon thing, actually. I don't know if it is still available on Amazon. So there's a whole, if you go and check out Alex's Twitter feed, you'll see the story. And he actually wrote up a blog post about it too. So what happened was when he used their publishing tools, they neglected to call out in sufficient red letters that if he used the tool the way they recommended, it wouldn't work for for Kindle devices. So the book works just fine with a Kindle app on the iPad or on the iPhone, or presumably a Kindle Fire, which I don't have. But if you want to read it on your Kindle Paperwhite, no go, because the way they do their PDF layout stuff, he did fancy layout things that just aren't compatible. So it might be available on Amazon. I got it from Amazon. I did the pre-order before everyone realized this was a problem, and I was cool with it because like I just read it on my iPad, no big deal. But
okay.
But if you want to read it on your Paperwhite, it may not be an option.
Yeah, it can be tricky. That's too bad.
That's good to know. Like the Kindle device formatting, my experience with it has been like, basically it's like just basic markdown is what you need to use. Like that's the formatting you get to use, is just sort of like basic markdown.
Yeah. I try to buy that stuff off of Amazon if I have the option anyway, just because I think like they take a pretty decent cut, right? I figure in any case, like, any cut is.
That makes sense.
The one bonus of the paperback is that actually there was an issue with the paperback too, where there was an intro. There's like an intro chapter to the book that I guess like explains kind of like how, it's like a how to read this book type thing, and somehow that got left out of the initial run of printing. So the people who pre-ordered like super early got a book that didn't have like the first like little intro how to read this book chapter. I think that's what it was. And Alex actually handled this very well, because he pitched it as a limited edition, a limited first edition, which is, that's just brilliant, because that's what you do if you have a printing error in your first edition copy. I mean, it just makes it better. Like I'm stoked now. Now mine is even more unique now. It's not only a first edition, but it's a limited first edition. So
that's going to have real value in the aftermarket.
It's like edition 0.
Oh, I see that we have Ben pasted a link that we'll have in the show notes to the actual to Alex's website where I think you can buy the book directly from him.
Yeah, get it if you can. Go get the link in the show notes, and it's actually Stacking the Bricks. What is it? StackingTheBricks.com /tiny MBA.
Yep.
There you go.
Or you can go to tiny.mba and that redirects to that URL.
That's easy too. That's easier to say.
Yeah, I used to be a big Amazon fan and order stuff from them every day, but now I'm trying to order directly from smaller businesses too, and I don't know. It's it just seems like a little bit yucky lately.
I'm trying to, but it's so hard. The number of times it pops into your head, it's something you need around the house or whatever. You can just 2 taps and it's on its way. But then, the Amazon delivery people know us. They're here every, multiple times, probably if not every day, it's close because it's just a steady stream of deliveries, and you think you can justify it well, they're driving by the house every day no matter what, everyone is doing this, which that's where the economy of scale comes from or whatever. But so it's not like you're necessarily saving a trip of a delivery truck to your house because they're just stopping. But still, it feels a little not optimal, I guess. I don't know what the word is.
But, if you're feeling guilty about the repeated Amazon deliveries, they do have that delivery day option now where you can...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can group all of your orders into one delivery day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll just hang on to them. So if you say Monday and you order something on, say, Wednesday, it'll just you can choose. You just wait until the next Monday and then I'll just bring all that stuff at one time. And
is that an account-wide option? You can just, if you set it, then everything will be delivered on that day, or do you have to do it every time?
If you set it, then it shows up as an option for your shipping when you check out. So if you don't do buy it now, then you see the options next day or, gotcha. Save $1 and, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw that in my latest one. There's some things that I just can't really find that places that aren't Amazon or Walmart. And it's it's not like Walmart's really better people than Amazon. So I'll just go with the easier one.
If you do that, will they batch the stuff into boxes? Do you get a bigger box of will they, combine shipments if you do that? Or is it 10 boxes showing up individual boxes? Because that would make me feel even worse. Seeing it all at once. At least with this slow drip of deliveries, you don't have to see the all the cardboard you're wasting.
I do believe they will try to package them together. Yeah.
Okay. Because honestly, that's a benefit. I think it's the cardboard, all these boxes that you end up having to recycle, and then knowing that recycling centers aren't even, they're overwhelmed, and I don't think half the time they're not even able to recycle it properly. It's it would be nice to use less shipping materials.
Just burn it and use the fire to cook gruel for orphans. So there's the environmental impact, which, I kind of am aware of. Also, there's a couple things the counterfeit problem and things that aren't necessarily counterfeits, but I've heard things about sort of older models being passed off as newer models of electronics, or things that were recalled, and there's a slight problem with it being passed off as the new version. When I was looking into Ubiquiti stuff, people were getting the people on the Ubiquiti forum from Ubiquiti were yeah, that's really, I don't know who's selling that, but that's not the good, that's this old janky thing.
That's not cool.
So so electronics, I've been trying to order directly from either the supplier Ubiquiti or Target, because I know Target at least is going to get me the thing that they're promising.
Yeah, or maybe even Newegg or something. Newegg has always been pretty good in the past for me.
Yeah,
seems like they would care about that sort of thing with their customer base.
And if you do want to avoid shipments, there's always Best Buy and Home Depot. They have great curbside service now, which I hope continues after COVID, because that is just super convenient.
Yeah, I do. I hope the curbside sticks around. IKEA has curbside. That's
worth some
my
cash
hate
right
for IKEA is legendary in my house. So yeah, like me and my wife Kaylin had to go. Like normally I'm like, oh, we're going to IKEA. Like it's always like a trip through a maze, like a crowded maze. And I haven't been this year, of course, but like in the past, it's just like it's the last thing I would want to do. So IKEA having curbside pickup I'm a fan.
There's a book. I'll see if I still have it to give it to you, Josh, but it's called Horror Story. It's a it's a horror story that takes place in a store very similar to IKEA, but not named IKEA for legal reasons.
Please do this. Like yeah, I'm already sold. Like,
and the book is in the format kind of like an IKEA catalog, as much as like a text book can be in the format of an IKEA catalog.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Don't tell me how it ends. Does it end with having to put a bookshelf together for 6 days?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like the concept was the strongest thing about that book.
Speaking of IKEA, I saw a joke about IKEA, and
I'm
TikTok.
linking to it in show notes.
Oh, tell me what's the joke?
So Microsoft is bidding on TikTok, right? And then it came out that Walmart wanted to be part of that, where they're buying TikTok. And then someone tweeted a joke and said, "Well, IKEA wants to buy TikTok too, but they're still assembling their bid."
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I don't know. I kind of like IKEA. Like it's a pain in the ass going there. It takes all day, but I kind of like going in the morning and having lunch there. And I don't know, they just won my heart because like the first place we took Ida as a just newborn baby was IKEA, and we didn't know what we're doing, and we were just like, and then they had these like family bathrooms, which is like this just luxurious bathroom. It's bigger than like our bathroom at home with all the stuff you need for a baby, and like a rocking chair and just like everything. And I was just like, this is very nice. I will love IKEA always for providing this, so I can like, not be super stressed out about dealing with this filthy little human.
Yeah. I'm sorry, by the way, Ben, I like kind of ruined your joke, I feel like, because I got distracted like in the middle of it. It's not that I didn't think it was funny. It was that I just wasn't listening to you. I like the horse story, like the title of it caught my eye, and I was looking at the design. So
it's all good.
My apologies. But this, I love the cover of this star. It's pretty good. It does like fill me with some dread.
Yeah, it's I'll see if I can describe it. It looks like an IKEA catalog. It's got a bright sort of couch with a sort of little palm tree looking like plant and a bright rug and a table, and then these framed prints artfully sort of arranged. And the prints, it looks like a zombie or something is trying to get out of them.
Yeah, through the glass.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's actually a great idea for somebody's home decoration.
It is. I kind of want to do that now.
All right. So this has been FounderQuest. If you enjoyed the show and the peace that it brings you in today's hectic world, please go to Apple Podcasts and review us. If you want to write for us, we still do that thing. So go to honeybadger.io/blog, look for the link that says write for us, read the whole thing, and contact me. And yeah, so until next week, see y'all later.
FounderQuest is a weekly podcast by the founders of Honey Badger. Zero instrumentation, 360-degree coverage of errors, outages, and service degradations for your web apps. If you have a web app, you need it. Available at honeybadger.io. Want more from the founders? Go to FounderQuestPodcast.com. That's one word, where you can access our huge back catalog of episodes. FounderQuest is available on iTunes, Spotify, and other purveyors of fine podcasts. We'll see you next week.